let it rain. Let me talk to you.
Okay, 1, 2, there you go. Welcome to Get Lit Fridays! I'm Ken. I'm Jack. And we're here to get lit! That was pretty good.
In June, amid the golden fields, I saw a groundhog lying dead. Dead lay he, my senses shook. And mine outshot our naked frailty. There lowly in the vigorous summer, his form began its senseless change, and made my senses waver dim, seeing nature ferocious in him, and inspecting close his maggot's might, and seething cauldron of his being, half with loathing, half with a strange love. I poked him with an angry stick. The fever arose, became a flame, and vigor circumscribed the skies. Immense energy in the sun, and through my frame a sunless trembling. My stick had done nor good nor harm. Then I stood silent in the day, watching the object as before, and kept my reverence for knowledge, trying for control, to be still, to quell the passion of the blood, until I had bent down on my knees, praying for joy in the sight of decay. And so I left, and I returned in the autumn strict of eye to see the sap gone out of the groundhog, but the bony sodden hulk remained. But the year had lost its meaning, and in intellectual chains I lost both love and loathing, murred up in the wall of wisdom. Another summer took the fields again, massive, burning, full of life. But when I changed upon the spot, there's only a little hair left, and bones bleaching in the sunlight. Beautiful as architecture, I watched them like a geometer, and cut a walking stick from a birch. It has been 3 years now. There's no sign of the groundhog. I stood there in a whirling summer, my hand capped a withered heart. And though of China and of Greece, of Alexander in his tent, and of Montaigne in his tower, of Saint Teresa in her wild lament.
Soapstone, the Groundhog by Richard Everhart. The speaker of this poem is a man who is observing a dead groundhog in his yard or area, and he goes through a loss of innocence, which stimulates a change in his perspective as he is experiencing death in his life for the very first time, and is dealing with the inevitability that he himself is also going to die. And that is displayed through one of the quotes in the poem where he says, "I saw a groundhog lying dead, dead lay he, my senses shook, and mind outshot our naked frailty." The occasion of this poem is the speaker is observing a dead groundhog over the course of 3 years, so he's observing the metamorphosis that occurs in the groundhog's physical body. The speaker is addressing his emotions regarding the death of the groundhog. The purpose of this poem is for the speaker to express his fearful emotions in regards to experiencing death for the first time. He is afraid of death and its uncertainty, and he is coming to the realization that he's having to experience this as well. And he observes the physical effects in the aftermath of death. He describes seeing the sap coming out of the groundhog and the bones and how it is affecting him.
The subject is the speaker's reaction towards death and the physical effects of death displayed on the groundhog. The emphasis of the transition of the speaker's perspective of his own death as it switches from suffering and pain into beauty and acceptance of his inevitable death.
Throughout this poem, the speaker is very fearful towards death in the beginning, and he's very much afraid of what is going to come in his life. But he's also very curious with the groundhog as he's seeing the physical effects. And he says that his frame is a sunless trembling, which he's trembling with curiosity and fear. It's a paradox. He's
fearful of something, but it's also attracting him, and he's very attentive towards that, and he focuses on the groundhog for 3 whole years. And he comes back and sees the change in the groundhog, and then he realizes that change will eventually come onto him, and in the end he feels defeated, as if he cannot defeat death.
Let it rain. Let me talk to you. Come on.